Hey everyone, and welcome back to Master Sight. Today I'm going to have my game two of Crossroads for you, where I face off against a new face in Josh Rosado and his Forces of Nature. So let's go ahead, dive into Josh's lists and the game. So Josh is a longtime player from the Northeast area. Sounds like he's taken a break for a while there, but is recently coming back and getting into playing some more. So I don't know if this was his first event back or one of his first ones, but he was playing with the New England War Kings group, um, which is like K2 in his group. So yeah, so glad to be able to face off against a new face, somebody that I've heard for a long time in the gaming group. But yeah, always happy to play somebody new. So Josh's Force of Nature, he has a horde of Naiad and Snares, a regiment of Heart Piercers. He has a horde of fire elementals, a horde of earth elementals, two regiments of centaurs, regiment and a horde of scorchwings. The horde having the helm of confidence for inspiring. Uh, two Pegasus, two beasts of nature with wings and seven attacks. A druid with amulet of fireheart, bane chant, surge 4, heal 2, and the avatar of the Green Lady. So it brings him to 14 drops, 27 unit strength. And here is a Josh himself. And we're going to be able to see his absolute gorgeous army here in just a moment. So this is the table. We are playing Pillage. So in this particular matchup, Josh chose me as the opponent, so I got to pick the scenario, and I picked Pillage of the ones that were available to me. I think Josh has a very good army for Pillage, but so do I. So my goal is to try and kill these faster units, especially in the Pegasus, the Beast of Nature, the Scorchwings. If I can remove those units, the end of the game is going to be much easier. And obviously, utilizing Wind Blast effectively helps with these scenarios as well. So this is the terrain setup. The tokens are on the bottom left in that forest here, one in the top left in the field. The middle has four of them. You'll see one by this hill, one just outside the deployment zone, one in the center here, and one behind this obstacle. And then the last one is in this forest over here. So these little tokens behind my soul flares, they're actually there to discern which soul flare has which item on it. So blurry picture, but Josh has an absolute gorgeous army. These turtles that he has for his Scorchwings are awesome. Josh won the player's choice, in fact, for his army here. So deployment, he has a Beast of Nature on the far left, the Horde of Scorchwings here, Earth Elemental Horde with the Regiment of Scorchwings behind, Horde of Ensnares. He has his Druid somewhere behind there as well. The Fire Elementals there, Heart Piercer Regiment, and then on the far right, he has both Centaurs with a Beast, or no, this is a Pegasus in between here, and a Beast of Nature behind. The Green Lady is here as well. He has a Beast of Nature behind this horde of Scorchwings as well. And then my deployment, I put Blade of Slashing, Dreadfiend out on the far left, Horde of Scarecrows with Tormentors, both the Mind Screeches, Horde of Scarecrows with the Helm of the Drunken Ram, Soul Flares, the Butcher Flesh Ripper, Portal of Despair, triple stack, and this Soul Flare has the elite vicious Blood of the Old King. Then we have Hex with this guy, Dreadfiend, the other Butcher Flesh Ripper, the regiment of scarecrows behind has the tormentors, and then I have the J boots out on the far right over here in an effort to try and slow down this fast flank. So Josh does get first turn, which either he rolls off and wins it, or I give him first turn. I forget which one. But bottom of turn is best for me in the scenario play, so that's I'm good with that. So so Josh does some movement, and then this is after my movement on my turn, in fact. So I think Josh did a couple wounds with his shooting to my horde over here with his scorch wings, but that was the only shooting to speak of. Yep, and then so we all move up a little bit. So the butcher flesh rippers are going out, being a little annoying. So this positioning here, the only thing that can charge this flesh ripper is the horde of ensnares or the height 4 guys over here, which I'm okay with. He can, take time and effort to try and get surges in there if he wants. Ultimately, the goal is this butcher is meant to break up this brick of a line here, because I'm not killing defense 6 earth elementals. I'm not killing ensnares to the front. The fire elementals are something I probably could kill, but I have to commit a lot to kill them, and then everything else is ready to charge me. So so yeah, we're just looking to break up the lines, as it were. So yep, and then on the right again, we're looking to break things up a little bit. So gonna wind blast this regiment here. Nothing else can see over past the forest. We're putting the butcher out as bait. If he wants to take heart piercers in the flank over an obstacle, by all means he can. Otherwise, we're just trying to slow down these, the cab and everything from coming into the center or threatening in the center. I'd rather be able to focus in on the middle. That's where the majority of the tokens are, right? So even if I lose this right flank, there's only one token out there, so I'm okay with that. So on for Josh's turn, again, I didn't take pictures in between each. So Josh went, then I went, so we'll kind of cover both of it. The first few turns were pretty quick, just a little bit of movement, but really some quick decisions in general. On Josh's part, as we can see, I took a little bit of time. But Josh did some flyovers on his turn. So he turned and flew with the horde. The Pegasus that we can see now flew straight over and looked towards the center. He brought the Beast of Nature up here and looking that way. He built a wall with his middle block, keeping the earth elementals off the hill so that the unit behind could see. And then on the right, he just kind of repositioned and backed up with most of the stuff, and then he brought his Beast of Nature over, looking towards the back of the board. So Josh did a lot of flyovers, which he and I talked about at the end of the game. And I don't hate this move, but I think it needs. I think he did too many of them all at the same time, and two, I think you need to do it on a flank that you can project a threat to follow up when you're not able to, effectively threaten the very next turn. So, like over here, like this horde not doing anything, this guy not doing anything the next turn, right? Now, it doesn't mean that I'm going to completely ignore them. I am going to look at them with some things, but it's not an immediate thing I have to address right then and there. What's it called? This guy, the Pegasus, was able to do an immediate threat. Pivot to look at stuff right away, be able to get charges the very next turn, right? Assuming that I don't, waver him or shoot him with the lightning bolts that I clearly have right here. Something I forgot to mention, turn 1, my lightning bolts did 4 wounds to his horde here, so they are already a little fragile. So I think I like it best over here with this Beast of Nature. But I don't really like it with any of these guys over here because the units where they were, they're not threatened. Like I'm not charging them, I'm not pressuring them at the moment here. Like sure, slowly I'll be able to do those things over a next turn or two, but it takes me a while to get into the proper position. And I am shooting more effectively with lightning bolt versus his horde into stealthy, but I just think that this was a little bit ambitious at this point. um, so anyway, on my turn, we see my movements are to address this. So I move stuff in such a way that the Beast of Nature can't see past the building to hit any of these units here. So its only charge would be over here. And then I turn in to try to shoot both these mind screeches at the one that can actually charge this next turn, the Pegasus. And then we're just repositioning. My thought here is that I'm leaving this horde a little exposed. Nothing's gonna support it, but Beast of Nature over you know a turn or two isn't gonna kill a horde, even though they have a couple wounds on them. So I'm okay with it. On the right hand side, again, I'm a little bit curious. I felt like this was a flank that Josh had, a pretty strong presence on, and then the flyover doesn't necessarily weaken the presence, but he, backed up and repositioned with the rest of the guys here. So it felt like I was able to get kind of my full forces over here, where I shouldn't have been able to before. So my butcher runs forward to block off his regiment here, but then it also, because he repositioned this unit to look inward, it effectively blocks them off, or not all the way, but it does block them off pretty substantially, to the point where like this Dreadfiend can get right up in here, and this regiment isn't able to charge it because of the pivot around, or I might be out of 16 inches. But either way, not allowing a rear charge on the Dreadfiend at this point. And then it allows my Soul Flayers to crest the forest and now project their threat here. So in order to answer the nuisance of this guy here, I do put one of my Tormentor troops looking at it, the other one kind of covering the center. And my thought is that he's jumped over on both the left and the right. So the worst thing that could happen to me is that one of these guys ends up in the center looking at the rear of all my army. So I'd rather have an answer to that. And that's where this unit and this Dreadfiend does a little bit as well. Just covers, this backfield area. Because, like I said, they're not threatening right now, but the next turn they could be threatening to a poor position. If I had opportunities here, if anybody that has this happen in their games, if you have opportunities to just full on commit like to the front lines when they jump over and they're not looking at you, that gives you 2 turns to deal with the main lines. And depending on your army and what they have as their front line, you might be able to break through effectively and then turn and face that. So um but yeah, we're in a pretty decent spot, I think. Effectively, Josh is gambling that he's taking a lesser aggressiveness this turn to set up more aggression on the next turn. So, anyway, our shooting does not do as well as we'd hope. We did 3 wounds to that Pegasus. We did not waver it, even though we do have Dread there. So he is able to get a charge off with that unit, which, yeah, not the end of the world, but would have been nice to avoid. So anyway, this is Josh's turn after his movement. So on the left, he decides flyover with the Beast of Nature is good, which is fine. Again, this forest is helping kind of prevent that Beast of Nature's full threat range. He then repositions the horde, realizing he can't go to center and threaten. He's coming back around the outside here. He does commit into my horde here. Now this, what's it called? This guy Pegasus is actually in the rear of the horde, um, which I think, when we see the dice or the results, I think he needs it in the rear to effectively break it. But it feels like taking the flank of the Soul Flares is the better option, just to knock them out of the air to reduce their effectiveness. But and then on the right, he wasn't able to double charge because of the building, so he just single charges into the Butcher Flesh Ripper over here. And again, he wasn't able to come to the center, so he goes back out and around the outside with this Beast of Nature. The only difference is this Beast of Nature's position was covered fairly well by this unit, so he has to actually double pivot, come back, and he's not threatening anything for this turn as well with this one. So, all good things for me. And then in the center, we'll see that with my positioning, I forced him essentially to back up with this horde, and then he has to commit to a surge flank into the butcher. But like I said before, my goal with that butcher and that whole process is to break up this established line. I don't want him sitting in a line holding, 2, 3 tokens because of that, ensnaring and defense 6. So this battle line is broken up now, and the messy scrum is where I feel like I have the advantage. So his shooting, he does a couple wounds here with his horde, and he does get a waiver. He kills the Butcher Flesh Ripper in the flank. He kills the Horde, and this is the final position. So he overruns slightly and then slightly pivots for these guys. So, and that is that. So my turn into the bottom of 3, and it's go time. So on the left here, I just turned the horde around. These guys were wavered, so I turned them around to accept their fate. The Mind Screech decides to charge the flank of the Pegasus here, because why not? And then I charge the flank of this regiment here with the Dreadfiend, and then to chaff up the Earth Elementals, charging the front with the Mind Screech there. So, in the center, we have kind of a cluster, hopefully better angle here. But we have the Helm of the Drunken Ram hitting the flank of this unit, and then double front charge with the Portal and the Horde. The what's called Blood of the Old King unit charges this regiment here. We were able to stick with the Butcher, which exposes the flank here. I don't have to commit to this at this point. I could just kind of keep delaying out here. But I think that since everything else is committing, this is an acceptable time to do so. I'm still honestly outnumbered out here. But my thought is if I can just remove these units right now, then hopefully by the time the center's cleared up, if everything goes well for me, I can come back to try and fight for this token over here. Yeah, so that's where we end up. So the Dreadfiend does his job, kills that regiment, and you'll see that because of the actual positioning, he's a little bit behind the combat here. So he turns to face back towards the left. A surprising outcome is the Blood of the Old King unit, which I did pop, getting hindered, hitting on 4s with the lead and 2s with Vicious, kills the Naiads, Heart Piercers. The benefit here was they weren't inspired, and that's a big reason why I went into them. That is one thing that I didn't mention, but Josh's list only has 2 sources of inspiring, and then an item that helps with inspiring. So, yeah, his 2 main blocks, the center and our right flank, are the only sources of inspiring right now. So, if we can get lucky, we had a dread in there too. So if we can get lucky with the nerve roll every once in a while, we're going to pick up stuff that we might not have otherwise. So and then we do pick up the or fire elementals in the center as well. So with all of those, happening, and we picked up the centaurs. So yeah, this is what it looks like going into Josh's turn 4, and from here it's no more dancing really. It's pretty quick. Oh, and the flank from the already wounded Pegasus, we did pick that up. Again, we had Dread. He has no inspiring, so that is somewhat expected. So over on the left, he takes his horde into my troop of tormentors. His what's called big nasty guys coming into the Mind Screech, who after killing turned around to take this charge in the front. He's countercharging here because of my reform position. He wasn't able to get a withdraw, and he's also, that means he's basically locked into combat. He's not able to get any sort of surge shenanigans off. So we effectively killed that horde of fire elementals while also locking down this earth elemental unit for the next turn here. On the right, Josh charges the Pegasus and his his centaurs, and then he just repositions this piece of nature, touching into the forest, looking over all of this, trying to threaten outside of front arc of everybody. So this is the position he wants this guy in. He's projecting threat into the middle of the board as well as on this flank to support. So. And then his Horde of Ensnarers chose not to charge because whatever he charged, he was likely not killing, and then he was going to take a flank. So he backed up, keeping everything in the front for this next turn. He does kill my Soul Flares out on this side and turns to face like this. He does kill the Mind Screech, and I believe keeps his position because if he backs up or even pivots slightly, I think he brings himself in front arc there. And then does not finish off this one. He does finish off the troop, however. So yeah, this is my turn 4. So bottom 4, we charge into the horde. This is I took these pictures, but before I went to shooting, I actually had other movements. So, and as you can see, I've been taking a little bit of time on my clock here. So, so over here, I just fly the troop out. I do get the butcher into the centaurs. I did have a flank onto the Pegasus, so we took that. I sidestep to get this regiment out of the forest, and I position the soul flares in such a way that we have a wind blast target, and if we get 1 or 2 inches, we're going to be able to get this guy out of the forest, and then he'll be looking at nothing for 3 turns in a row. So yep, and then double charge the front with these 2 over here while repositioning for the Dread Fiend to get in the flank. And then our Helm of the Drunken Ram unit is staring at the rear of the Earth Elementals. So this was my final position here after movement. I decided to, because he has no charges, nothing's in range, nothing in line of sight, I decided to actually just turn and run this way. My thought is the Mind Screech could be very useful to go fly over this building and get that token later on in the game. There's no need for him to try and punch it out with a piece of nature. He's not going to win that fight. So the Wind Blast is very effective, pushes him back. He has no charges there. We got very lucky. I believe we got him up to 7 wounds here, it looks like. So we did 3 wounds hindered, which is extremely good for these guys. And then got lucky on the nerve roll. I mean, it's they're a 16, so we needed a 9 twice because they do have the inspiring item. So we got lucky with that. Over here, I killed the Pegasus and then turned to look that way. So that way his unit couldn't hit them. It was perfectly even. And then I did a few wounds here. So this is his counter charge. But yep, so that is where we are. Josh's turn 5. Again, repositioning this guy, and he's put him in such a way where he said at this point he's like, with the wind blast and everything, like everything's kind of dying. He just puts it to where soul flares could charge him. It's gonna be hindered though. So that's just, what it is at this point. He said he's had enough of it, just needs to get them involved. So, and then the other one flew back this way, again, looking at the token. So he's trying to get to that token, basically. So, combat wise, he does not kill anything except for the butcher that was already wounded over here. And then he decides to run forward, which actually puts him in my arcs with this unit. So, otherwise, yeah, bottom 5 to me. Because of his counter charge into the Portal of Despair, that actually has my horde in his flank. So the rear charge happens with the counter to the front. We are countering the front, double flank over there. We're flying over with the Mind Screech because we got nothing better to do right now. It is a blackjack scoring, so every token matters. And then we do take the charge with the Soul Flares. My thought is here that I'm not killing him, but at the very least, I knock him out of the air. I stop him from jumping on any of these tokens later in the game. So that was my thought, and hopefully we can kill this regiment here, and both of these troops are free to help secure the tokens on the very last turn. And everything goes according to plan. We killed the Earth Elementals, we killed the Naiads, and we killed the Centaurs. So the only scoring units left for Josh are both of his Beasts of Nature on the top left and the bottom right. He does have the Green Lady still around, who is Cloak of Deathing everything when she can, so she is very annoying. So Josh just countercharges and then repositions to be on the token. So this is bottom of 6 for me. I run forward in such a way where I have 2 unit strength on that token already, but I am going to just wind blast him because I can. And then we have that token, that troop jumps there, that horde goes here. This regiment has that one, and that is not a token, that is the icon for mine. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I do have all 7 here on turn 7. And I believe this is where the game ends. The Wind Blast is successful. We did a wound there, maybe, or I think he wavered me there. But yeah, that's where the game ends. And so we got a good size win there. We got all the objectives, so that's a +4. So that's an 18 base, and then attrition difference was roughly like 750, 800, somewhere in there. So I think that's another +2, maybe +1. So we're looking at, it was like a 19 or a 20 point victory in this round. And luckily for me, my teammates, I believe, also all won their games, so we maxed out in this particular matchup. So yeah, it was a very fun game, very gorgeous army that Josh has. I'm very glad that I got to play him. And I do think that his style of army, that type of army, is very potent. It is also just very fragile and requires critical decisions at the right time. So it's tough to know when that jump over is ideal, what the right position is, because you need all your pieces to come to force at the right times in order to break things open. So, but Josh was an awesome dude. Glad I got to hang out with him and play a game against him. So yeah, that's where we ended. I will also say, I forgot this happened, but the clock we were using, the reason why my time was actually so low was because it was a the clock malfunctioned or was broken in some way, where like when you hit the button from my side, it passes over, but it still runs on my clock. So we noticed this about halfway through the game, and the funny thing is that Roger, one of my teammates, was the one that gave me that clock. So yeah, I was giving him crap about that. But Josh was awesome. He was like, "Hey, I don't. Clearly, that's a problem. I don't think we're gonna have huge clock trouble for the round as a whole." So that was very gracious of Josh to realize that that's out of our control. But let's just continue to have a great game. So um, yeah, so we got 2 wins so far, two pretty good sized wins for both of them. So we're sitting pretty good as a team. I think we jump right back up in the mix after this one. Not that the first round was bad, but we were below the curve, or not below the curve. We were slightly above the curve. We were upper middle, right? But this one puts us back towards the top end of things. So, yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will have game 3 up as soon as I can, but I appreciate it. We'll catch you on the next one.